about today is how to make $10,000 a month and more buying and selling hydroponic equipment. Now the reason that this is so profitable is that everyone right now is trying to get into growing. And the problem is that everyone underestimates how difficult it is and also how much work and studying it takes. They think that they can just jump in, start growing, they're just going to end up the first time with a fantastic product, and that there's going to be no stumbling blocks or bumps in the road, and that's just really unrealistic. So what happens is people gather a bunch of money together and a bunch of capital together, and then they try to grow and they try to do a huge operation their first time, and generally they come into stumbling blocks like disease or spider mites, something that they haven't figured out, and something happens and their harvest doesn't go the way that they think it was or whatever. So the reason that it's actually really profitable to buy and sell hydroponic equipment is because when they fail or when something happens, they want to sell all their stuff generally as quickly as possible, and also generally all together, so that they can get as much of their original investment back as possible. And so generally they'll take very cheap prices if someone buys everything in bulk, or if someone offers them something right now, just cash, they're generally going to take it, okay? Even if it's a lot less than what the equipment is actually worth. So with just a small budget, I can start buying and selling hydroponic equipment using websites like eBay, Craigslist, BudTrader, different things like that, and making huge profits. Now, if you don't have a budget, stay tuned, because I'm also going to describe how you can leverage your way into this buying and selling without necessarily a budget. A budget is preferred, but you're going to see that I'm going to show you other methods that you can do it as well without a budget. So stay tuned. So let me just hop on the screen and I'll show you a super quick and basic example so you guys can kind of get a feel for what I'm talking about here, okay? So check me out on the screen. I'll be there in a second. What's up, guys? So here I am on the computer side, and I just want to give you a really quick, simple example of how this works. You know, there's a lot of tricks to it, there's a lot of extra things, but this is just a basic function so you guys kind of know what I'm talking about. You can get an idea of how this kind of whole thing operates. So here, what I've got for you is just a sample ad. You'll see tons of these on the internet. You can see he has a lot of hoods here, a lot of magnetic ballast, another hood, some fans, a ton of this expensive soil that Happy Frog, it's, you know, kind of a popular soil. Anyway, so you can see that he just has a ton of stuff, and this is a perfect example of what I was talking about when I said someone probably just bought a bunch of equipment, tried to set up a huge grow, and then basically it didn't work out for them, and now they're probably selling all their stuff. Now, I'm just assuming this guy could be upgrading everything, he could be getting better stuff, he could be moving and he doesn't need it anymore, but I'm just gonna assume, because what it is 80% of the time, is that something happened and it didn't work out for him. So he looks like he's trying to sell everything at once. He says right here, prices drop for quick sale. If you buy a few items, I can give even better pricing. Well, if I have a small budget, then I should be able to buy all of this at once. So if he's saying buy a few items, then I should be able to get the whole enchilada for a lot cheaper, right? Now let's take a look at this. He's got 2 of these 600-watt digital ballasts, and each one is $60. So now, what if I'm not a hydroponic expert? How will I find out how much all these are? So what I do is I take it over to eBay. Now this is an important part right here, because you're not concerned with how much they're being listed for. You want to know how much they're actually selling for. So what you do is you come over here, right there, and you see completed listing. You want to click on completed listings, because that tells you what they're selling for. We don't really care how much they're being advertised. We care how much they're actually selling. Alright, so if you look over here at the completed listings, you see that they're selling for $230. There's one selling for that sold for $168. There's one that sold for $105. This one probably went super fast. And so this is actually a really good brand, Lumitech. So these will go fast. Had this person had the patience to just throw these up on eBay and had an account, he could have got full price for that. Instead of getting $60, he could have been getting $160 or $105 or whatever. Okay, so that's just a really quick example. He also has the grow tent that he's trying to sell as well. You can see over here, he had that listed for $40. He had a couple different ones. This is the same size. So I copied and pasted it right into here. You can see this sold for $184. This one sold for $140. Okay, this is $137. That's an actual bid, so that's even a better gauge than a buy it now, because that's what it's actually being bid for. Okay, so you can see that he had that for $40, and that could have been sold easily for at least $100. I'd say at least $125.
since it's used, it's not going to go for its full 250, but it definitely will go for a good amount. So what I've done here is I just put all this together of what he's saying all these are worth, and I took it over to the calculator here, added up everything. It's about $810. Now, since I'm buying everything together, I wanted to know exactly how much, if I sold it, it would be worth. And what I do is I tried to look, like, guess low. So whenever I'm saying, like, I look on here and it says 160 or 130 or whatever, I'll say it's worth 90 in my head, just so that worst case scenario, I guess low and I'll be pleasantly surprised afterwards. Most of the stuff will sell for more than what I guess it's going to sell for, but I get a good gauge here and then I just guess low a little bit. Okay, so what I came up with is all his stuff is actually, if he was to sell it on eBay, or if he would have parted it out and not just taken full offer, he would have got about $1,300 for it. And again, that's guessing low. So for this example, I actually emailed this guy and he responded right away, and I threw him an offer just to show you kind of like how this works. Here you see, hey guy, looking to buy a full grow setup, here's what I can offer. I'm not asking a question, there's not really much room for negotiation here. And what I like to do is I like to give him two options. I said I'll either buy the 2 digital bells for $100, which honestly I'm not really interested in, because that would just be me driving all the way out there and doing whatever for like $100, and honestly it's not worth that to me. It probably shouldn't be worth that to you either. I mean, I'd have to get a lot more than that in order for me to make a drive. Or I said I can buy everything for 500 cash. If you remember, his number is 810. What it's actually worth is 1270 at least. So if I buy everything for 500, I'm making at least a $770 profit, which is more than doubling my money. So that's fantastic. If he accepts that, that'd be cool, right? I'll be in your area first thing in the morning, and I'll definitely be purchasing something then. So if you want to make this deal happen, let me know ASAP. So he has to decide quickly. I'm not letting him just think about it for hours or whatever. I want to know right away. I'm going to be there first thing in the morning. I got the cash. Let me know. 10 minutes or 9 minutes or whenever later. Thanks for the interest in my ad. I'm really just trying to sell everything at once, so I'd be down to take 500 cash for everything. So when I gave him the option, he's like, ooh, I'd prefer to just sell everything at once, but since I gave him this option, it's almost like he gets to choose. So he feels a little bit more in control of the situation, even though he's really not. Then he says, text or call me, we can set up a time in the morning. I'm off all day tomorrow. Thanks, bro. And then there's his number. Okay, since I don't want this deal, I will not pursue this, obviously. But when I do examples, just for example's sake, and I see that there's a lot of potential for profit, I will throw these deals to the members and I let them follow up. But anyways, you can just see there very easily making double your money. If you had a little bit bigger of a budget than 500 cash, you could obviously make a great deal more. There's people that sell a lot more than this. There's a lot more game to this whole process than just this, but I gave you a very quick example so you can guys really see how easy it can be if you know what you're doing and you follow the steps that I give. How easy it can be to double, triple, even quadruple your money all day long doing it. I show you guys a really cool step-by-step total instructions on how to do that, and you see me turn $1,000 into $6,000 in the member section. I hope you guys like that, and I'm gonna hop back out off the screen and do a little conclusion for you guys.
So that's just a real basic example. Obviously it gets a lot more complicated and you can do a lot more things with that. I want you guys to remember this concept, and all my Hustle Green members know this concept, and that's my Gold Rush example. In the Gold Rush, who was the one making the most money? Now, what first comes to your mind is people looking for gold, finding gold, and selling it. And the first ones that did start digging for this gold did make a lot of money. However, when everyone else started rushing to the scene and saw those people making money, there was too much competition for anyone to actually make serious money. So, who was the real person that was making all the money in the Gold Rush? And the answer to that question is the person that was selling shovels, that was selling pickaxe, the person that was coming up to the guy and saying, hey guys, you guys look really tired and thirsty after doing all that digging and looking for gold. You guys want some water? Here's a water bottle for $1. The diggers are happy, they get hydration, they get a convenience. The person selling is insanely happy because he's servicing all these customers while they're trying to make money in a different way. That person would set up hotels. Oh, you look tired, you must need a place to stay. Oh, you're out here for a while, don't you want your family to come out here and visit? They can stay in this hotel. And that's what I call the Gold Rush example, because everyone's focused on one thing. And if you can focus on how to help where all the sheeple are going, then you can become highly successful. So one thing that I continuously stress in my videos and in all my training is cater to the rush. So right now we're in a green rush. Everybody's trying to jump in and start a dispensary or buy and sell or grow marijuana. And really, that is a highly profitable place to go. And I can show you how to do that as well. But if you can cater to that rush, I think you'll be a lot more successful, and I think that you will be very surprised at how much better everything will be. Now, if you're looking for the no budget method, if you want just really good step-by-step instructions on everything that I showed you today, if you want templates that you can literally copy and paste and do this really easily and automated, click the link below or visit the members section. Alright guys, hope you guys learned something.